All right, let's talk about a question that hits pretty much everyone trying to build with AI on Google's platforms. AI Studio or Vertex AI? Which one do you pick? Honestly, it's a choice that can make or break your project right from the start. So, yeah, let's get into it.
So you've got this killer idea, right? It could be a game-changing chatbot, an incredible content generator, something nobody's even dreamed of yet. But that amazing spark of inspiration, well, it almost immediately runs into a giant wall of options. And believe me, the tool you choose right at the beginning can mean the difference between getting something amazing off the ground fast and, well, a whole lot of frustration.
To make this whole thing way simpler, let's use an analogy. I want you to think of AI Studio as your own personal workshop. You know, a creative space where you can tinker, play around, and build something really fast. And then think of Vertex AI as the massive, full-scale industrial factory. It's built for raw power, for scale, and for pumping out serious enterprise-grade products. See? Two very different goals, which means two very different sets of tools.
Okay, so first up, let's step into the workshop. AI Studio is really designed to be your sandbox. It's a place where you can play with some incredibly powerful AI without needing a PhD in machine learning or, being an expert in cloud infrastructure.
So what is this thing really? Well, AI Studio is a tool you use right in your web browser. Its entire reason for existing is to get you from an idea to a working prototype as fast as humanly possible. It's your direct line to Google's latest and greatest models, like Gemini, and it lets you test prompts and tweak how the AI behaves, all through a super simple interface.
And just look at this workflow. It's almost ridiculously simple. You literally just sign in with your Google account, you start writing prompts, you see what the model gives you back, and then, and this is the cool part, you can actually fine-tune it with your own data to make it way smarter for whatever you're doing. Once you're happy, it just hands you the code to drop right into your application. It is all about speed. Speed, speed!
So, who exactly is hanging out in this workshop? First up, the developer. You're building an app and you think, hey, a chatbot would be cool here, or maybe a text summarizer. With AI Studio, you can add that in without completely derailing your project for 6 months. It's perfect for that.
Next, you've got the innovator, the entrepreneur. You've got this amazing hunch for a new AI-powered business, but you've got to check if it actually works, and you need to do it fast. AI Studio lets you spin up a proof of concept in hours, maybe days, instead of months. You get to test your ideas before you sink a ton of money into them.
And of course, the student. If you're just trying to learn about generative AI, there is absolutely no better way than to just get your hands dirty. AI Studio is super accessible, it's low cost, and it's an amazing way to experiment with prompt engineering and really understand how these giant models tick.
So the upsides here are pretty clear, right? It's incredibly easy to get started, you can try out new ideas super fast, and you get to play with the most cutting-edge models without ever having to think about a single server. Oh, and the free tier is really generous, which makes it a no-brainer for just getting started. But, a workshop has its limits. All that simplicity, it comes at the cost of control. You have less ability to really get under the hood and customize the deep inner workings. It's not built to handle massive, mission-critical workloads at an enterprise scale. You're also pretty tightly integrated into Google's ecosystem, and it's really focused on generative AI, not every single type of machine learning out there.
Okay, enough tinkering in the workshop? Let's put on our hard hats and head over to the factory. Vertex AI is Google's industrial-strength, heavy-duty platform. This is where you go when you're done playing around and you're ready to build a serious, scalable, production-ready AI system. And you can see right away, this is a totally different beast. Vertex AI is a unified platform for the entire machine learning lifecycle. The keywords here are unified, lifecycle, and professionals. We're not just talking about writing prompts anymore, we're talking about the whole shebang. Data prep, training, deploying, monitoring, everything you need to manage AI for the long haul. And this just shows you the difference perfectly. The workflow here is way more involved. You start with your raw data, you prep it, then you actually train custom models using frameworks like TensorFlow. You manage and version all your models in a central registry, you deploy them to scalable endpoints, and then you monitor them in the real world for problems like data drift. This isn't just AI, this is MLOps, machine learning operations. It's the real deal.
So who's working in this factory? Well, first and foremost, the machine learning engineer. This is the pro who lives and breathes this entire life cycle. They need that fine-grained control over absolutely everything, from the hardware it runs on to the nitty-gritty details of the model architecture.
And working right alongside them is the MLOps team.
It's their job to keep the whole production line running smoothly. They make sure the AI systems are reliable, secure, and can scale up. Vertex AI gives them all the automation and monitoring tools they need to run AI in a serious business.
And ultimately, this is for the enterprise. We're talking about large organizations with really strict requirements. They need top-notch security, they have to meet compliance standards, and their systems have to operate at a massive scale. Vertex AI is built on Google Cloud's powerful infrastructure to deliver all of those enterprise-grade features that mission-critical apps depend on. The power of the factory is, well, it's just undeniable. You get every single ML tool you could possibly need all in one place. It's built to be massively scalable for gigantic workloads. You get that deep, granular control over every little setting. It has full support for the entire MLOps lifecycle, and it can handle any kind of machine learning model you throw at it, not just the generative ones.
But with great power comes great complexity. Let's be real. This platform can be overwhelming for beginners. It has a much steeper learning curve, and you really need some solid ML and cloud expertise. Because you pay for the resources you use, the costs can really add up if you're not careful. And honestly, using Vertex AI for a simple prototype is like using a giant construction crane to lift a single feather. It is total overkill.
All right, so we've seen the quick, nimble workshop, and we've toured the powerful, comprehensive factory. Now, let's put them head-to-head and make this choice crystal clear.
And this table really just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at the primary goals: rapid prototyping versus end-to-end MLOps. The user, a developer who wants to move fast versus an ML engineer who needs control. The ease of use is high versus low. The scalability is good enough for an app versus truly enterprise grade. That contrast right there is pretty much everything you need to know to make your decision.
So, after all that, how do you pick the right path for your project? Well, it really just boils down to one thing. What are you actually trying to do? Here's the bottom line. You go with the Workshop AI Studio if your goal is pure speed. If you want to add a cool AI feature to your app like tomorrow. If you need to prototype an idea really fast, or if you're just starting out and your main focus is just on crafting great prompts. It's the path of least resistance to getting something that works. On the other hand, you march straight into the factory, Vertex AI, when your goal is power and absolute control. If you're building a totally custom model from the ground up, if you need a full MLOps pipeline for a system that cannot fail, or if your project demands that enterprise-level scale and security, this is the path for building professional, robust, industrial-strength AI.
So in the end, you see, it's not really a competition. These aren't competing tools. They're two different stops on the same journey. One lets you capture that initial brilliant spark of an idea in the workshop, and the other lets you scale that idea into a world-changing product in the factory. It really makes you wonder what comes next, right? What will the tools that combine the beautiful simplicity of the workshop with the raw power of the factory actually look like? That's the future we're all building.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss the next guide.